recording. So are you used to, wow, I'm not able to use the pen here. Let me try to download that first. Sorry, it doesn't work like that. Wow, I'm not able to use, yeah, okay. Even here, wow. Hmm. Wow, okay, something strange. Okay, so here you say while input is positive. The point here that is that this is how you use it in your school?
Yeah, because I looked at previous codes and I've written it like that.
So in the school you use it like that?
Yes, because there's this one code that we'd written, count only positive even numbers from n100. So I looked at that and then I sort of just wrote this.
Okay. That's interesting. Because if I look at the official code from the syllabus, we have, I mean, we use input like that. So the, sorry, because my pen is having a problem. So we use input, and so this is the standard keyword. So typically we don't use it. We don't use it as, how to say. So this is in capital, okay, and we take something from. So we put input like that. So this is a keyword that belongs to the pseudocode. We don't use it for variable names. So we take input from the user. We say we input num, for example, like
Yes.
that, okay, and then we put that here, and then inside here, so we loop while num is bigger than 0, something like that. But of course, if your teacher accept it like that, then okay, it's fine. But then we have to also care, because okay, let me confirm that from you, because different country have different practice. Your final exam is going to be corrected by your local teachers, or it's a standard exam. So far, I know that this is a standard exam. It will be corrected by your local teachers or not?
Yes, that'll be corrected by my class teacher.
Not the mock exam. I'm talking about the final exam next year in May.
Okay, no, I don't know who the examiner is going to be.
Okay, so okay, if for the mock exam, I think you can still answer like that, because it is your teacher who is going to check it for you. But
yes,
we have to confirm. I think from your side you have to confirm. The standard syllabus is like that. Okay, if you want to write that, it is up to examiner. It is up to the examiner if he accept it from you or he reject it. So the way that you put input from user like that, again, this is belong to your teacher. This is not the standard. This is not the standard syllabus. Okay, so I start to worry if your examiners in the next year will not be your local teacher. Okay, other parts of the code is fine. Here, all this is totally fine, except that this. So it is up to the examiner if he accepts it or not.
all right.
Okay, so you understand from me what I'm trying to tell you?
Yes.
Okay. So the other code is totally fine. you have nothing wrong except these two things. And that's why also here I don't recommend using input, because this is a standard keyword. Again, for your local teacher, okay, it's fine.
Okay.
Okay. So the point here that I know the past year exam questions, and I know the standard answers. So I'm telling you based on that, and from the standard answers, people will use the standard answer to compare your answer to the standard one. So it is very little chance that your local teacher is going to correct the final exam. There's very little chance. This is a standard exam. Anyhow, don't waste time anymore here. Okay. Yesterday I was checking for you. Yeah, no. So yesterday we talked about dynamic structure. Am I right? Can you remember that?
Yes.
Dynamic and static. That makes you a little bit confused. Am I right?
No, not really. Dynamic is when it when you don't have to keep like space free for it, right? It just does it itself.
Yeah. Yes, and then the static is
when you have to give space for the inputs to go in, I think.
Not give space, but reserve a place in the memory for them to work. Okay, is it fine like that?
Yeah.
Okay, so I would like to share with you. So this is a past exam question. So can you see here? He's saying this is only part of the question. So the question have A, B, C, and D. And then the D portion, he say compare the use of static and dynamic data structures. Okay, so let me have a look with you at the standard answers. Okay, from that is provided by the examiner. So static data structures are fixed size, for example, arrays, while dynamic data structure, for example, trees, linked lists, have a flexible size. The size of a static data structure is predetermined. So the amount of memory once allocated to them at compile time means, you know what is that?
No.
Compile time is the time that you write your code. So when you write your code, you decide to put, you reserve space for an array, for example, for 10 elements. So this is what we say at the compile time. So on runtime, if we go to a compiler, okay, for example, let me share with you, where is the compiler? Here is the compiler. I think you can see my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay, so do you see that code here? So A is an array. Can you see line 2?
Yeah.
Okay, and then you see n is the length of the array. So n will have, what is the size of, or what is the content of n? If we run this kind of command, what will be stored inside n?
3 elements.
Sorry, again, can you tell?
3 elements.
Excellent, excellent. Okay. And if we want to find a maximum value inside this 3-element array, so can you have a look at this code and tell me what do you understand from this code, and if it is clear to you?
So what does the I signify over here?
So I, we can use count if you want. So I is a variable name that we use it inside the loop. If it confuses you, we use count like that. Does this make it clearer to you? And then I will use count like that here. And then instead of I use count. Is it clear like that? Or I return it I more easier? Which one is more clear?
So count is basically the elements inside array.
No, wait. In this loop, count carry values from 1 until n minus 1. So,
Okay.
so count is a variable, okay? A variable that is used in the loop, and it will be incremented automatically inside the loop. And we know that we have 3 elements here. Am I right? So the first element is 0, right? The index of the first element is 0, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you see what we do with the 0? The first element will be assigned to maximum value. This is a common practice that we use it when we find minimum or maximum. So whenever we try to find a maximum or a minimum of an array element, we do that. We create a variable, and then we assign the first element of the array to it. So if I also want to find the minimum, I will say like that, minimum like that, and I will also put for it the first element. You know, a at index 0 is 1. As if you just remove this and you put 1 like that. So where is 1 is here. Is that clear or it's not clear?
No, I get it.
Really? Okay. Okay. So is it clear to you I put I or count? Which one is more clear?
I think both are fine.
Okay, that's good. So we are telling that to be able to find an automatic way to go through every index in the array, the index is different. Here is 0, here is 1, here is 2. So we need something to change the index for us in an automatic way. So that's why we create a loop like that. That's why also we use the count like that. So the count values will range from 1 until n minus 1. Can I know what is the value of n here that we talk about?
N is the array length.
So it is 3, right?
Yes. So you subtract it because it's only till 2, so it's 0 to 2.
Yes, excellent. So it means we will start the count variable with an initial value of 1. So when we say a, if a count like that, it means that I put 1 inside a. Okay, and if what is the element at position 1?
4.
Excellent. So is it 4 bigger than 1?
No. Yes. Yes.
So this is a maximum value. Maximum value, I have stored what? I stored 1 inside.
Okay.
So does this make sense? If I say a and the count is 1, so a like that. Okay, and the maximum count here 1. So this equivalent to 4. So if I say 4 bigger than 1, is that true or false? It is true, right? So if it is true, sorry again.
No, yes.
So if it is true, it means that I will take the bigger value, I will store it in maximum value, in the variable that's called maximum. Why? Because I want something to keep track of the highest value when I go or traverse through the array. Traverse means I loop through the elements of the array. I go into the element one by one. The highest value, I keep it and store it. Why? Because count will keep changing. At first, count will be 1. After that, it will be incremented. It will become 2. So if I don't store the maximum value, I will lose it. So now you finish the end if, and then you go back again. You increment, now the count become 2, and then you check again. E, the array element at index 2. What is it? What is the value?
At index 2, it's 4.
No, 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 no.
Oh, sorry, 0, 1, 2. It's 5.
Excellent. Okay, so it is 5. Okay, it is 5. So is it 5 bigger maximum value now? This maximum, we already put 4 inside. How I did that here in the previous loop. So maximum value, I've already put 4. So if I compare 5 is bigger than 4 or not? This
Yes.
if statement bigger, right? So it
Yeah.
means that I need to store 5 inside maximum value. So I now store, instead of 4, I put 5 here. I do it here with just line. Is that clear?
Yes.
Okay, that's good. So by doing so, I try to loop again, but I find myself already reached the end of the array. I can no longer increment count to become 3, because that will be something outside here. So, and then, so if this means that I reach the end of the array, I will execute end loop, and then I'll try to print out maximum value. So let us run this code. See what it gives to us. So do you see the output here? It gives us 5. So what if I put here 6 like that? So let us have a look. You see? That is the beauty of running the code in a compiler, is that it gives you can try different things and it will give you the real answer. So things can start to make sense to you. So if I add here, instead of 6, I put 8. Let us have a look. Will this give us 8? Yes, it gives us 8. Did you understand me so far?
Yes.
Really? Is it not difficult?
No, it's okay.
Okay. So, okay, it's fine. I'm telling you, it is totally fine that you use the paper for the moment, but that will start to make things make sense to you. I know maybe you don't like coding, but at the end of the day, you have to pass through the exam, right? So we have to find ways, we have to trick our mind, and we have to find ways to pass the exam. So I am, believe me, I tried the method that I'm trying with you, with many students before you. And if you follow exactly the same, you will end up passing the exam with a good score. Okay? So let me continue then. What I want to say, I go back to here. So again, the answers that he was giving to us for the exam question, when we talk about static size, mean that our array have a fixed number of elements. Just now it was 3. What is the compile time? The compile time is the time that you write the code. When you press the button that I used to press here like that, so once you press that button, you move from compile time to the run time. So now you understand what's the difference?
Yes.
Okay, so whereas dynamic data structure, they can grow and shrink as needed to contain the data to be stored. So this happened with the collection, this happened with the stack. You keep pushing to the stack, there's no worries about that. You can keep pushing to the collection, also no worries. Keep pushing to the queue, no worries. But if you are pushing towards the end of an array, that's a big issue. You'll not be able to run beyond the level of the array, the maximum level of the array. Did I make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so can you please help me here? Can you tell me what does this line mean?
I'm not sure what this means.
Can you read it and then we discuss it together? So, I mean, when we discuss, things will stick to your mind. Okay. So they say slower access of elements of dynamic data structure. It's a sequential access. Do you know what the meaning sequential access?
No.
Okay. Do you remember when we wanted to? Okay. So did you remember the array A that just now we see that have 3 elements?
Yes.
Okay. So if I want to enter the last element directly, I will say square bracket 3, which is the last index. Can I say 3 or have to put 2? The index of 5 is what?
It's 2.
Excellent. Okay. So A2, I can say it is equal 6. Okay. So if I say like that, it means that I totally reassign the value. Instead of 5, I inserted 6 inside. So this means I have direct access to any element in the array. So it means that I have a faster access. This is what they call direct access to the element of static array. So this is a static array. It is fixed in size. Okay. I'm able to access each element very fast by just changing the number here. Okay. But isn't that the case with dynamic data structure? No. In dynamic data structure, you are not able to reach the last element until you loop through all the collection or loop through all the stack. So you are not, you don't use these square brackets with collection. Do you still remember that? How do you access collection?
Yes, you use the, I think,
Has next
really,
and get next, right? Hello, can you hear me?
yes.
Okay, so we do not use square brackets at all with collection. Do you still remember that?
Yeah, do we use the curly brackets?
Yes, but again, okay. Let me see if this code here. Yeah, this could have something here, so I'm able to share it with you. Share, stop here, share here. Okay, do you see this code here? Do you see this collection?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so this is a collection that's called C. I keep adding items inside. Okay, do you see how I add an item? I do not use square brackets at all. I have to use the method called add item. I do not know where he put the 5 and the 1 and the 6, how he arranged it internally. I have no idea. If I want to loop, I don't loop using count or and I don't put any numbers here. Can you see that? I only use loop while has next. And I tell him get next, but I have no idea about what is the value inside and what is the index of that value. I got no idea, and I cannot even change it. So if I'm searching for something or I want to access the last element in the collection, I'm not able to access it directly. I have to loop through all the collection to be able to reach the end, which is 9 here. Did you understand what I'm saying here?
Okay, yeah.
But so imagine if I use the same. So if I use, instead of using a collection C, I use it as an array and I store all the elements that I stored here. So I put here 1, 5, 6, 9. 1, 5, 6. Sorry, I'm using the mouse until I restart and check what's wrong with the pen. So you see here 1, 5, 6, 9, exactly the same like this. Okay. So sorry, we have to close and open again, please.
Okay.